Okay, look, I know this video is supposed to be about the Atomos Ninja Flame, but I've got something quite interesting to show you first. Also, the background is not that interesting, so let me spice it up. That is a gear closet. That is a project that's coming, by the way. So if you're interested, subscribe. It'll be a very cool video. The final project is going to be amazing. I promise, pinky promise. Okay, now that looks a bit more interesting and a bit more better, let me talk about what exactly I want to talk about before I talk about the Atomos Ninja Flame. Make sense? Makes sense. I'll be talking about what something's called a tripod dolly. It's like $30–40. Well, the one I've got, it's from a brand called Wolfgang, and it's like $30–40, and it improves your tripod and the equipment you already have like a bunch just by attaching it to your tripod. It basically gives your tripod some wheels, and while it doesn't seem exciting and interesting, it pretty much turns everything into a slider or a dolly, and it opens up the potential for so many goddamn shots. And while it's only $30–40, this particular one I got, which is called a Wolfgang tripod dolly. Wolfgang? For W, not actual gang signs, don't arrest me. This tripod dolly is actually amazingly well built for the price. It's only like $30–40, and the whole thing is like metal. Anyway, I'm gonna just show you the whole experience of unboxing and attaching it. It's really quite simple. Here we got the device. Okay. Let me just figure out how it works. I think it clicks. Yeah, it clicks into place and then you unclip that way. Okay. So my guess is you take your tripod legs, you extend this to the right length, and then you put your tripod legs in here, and then you clamp them down with this. Whoa. Enough of that. I got my tripod installed, and as you can see, it's clamped down quite securely, which is good. One might ask, what if my tripod is very wide and very long, and the legs take up all the way that way? Well, you can actually unlatch this right here, like so, and you can actually expand this leg, so you can support this can support a lot of tripod sizes, which is freaking awesome. Quick tip, because these aren't the most expensive wheels or most expensive wheels out there. They're not really super fancy wheels. They're not the smoothest things on earth. I recommend you actually lubricate them a little bit with some sort of lube, like a mineral oil or even Krytox 205G, which is for bikes, if you have the money. I use just some basic lubricating like mineral oil used for sewing machines from a brand called Singer, and they made sewing machines. I lubed up the wheels and they're way smoother than if I didn't lube them up, so it improves the performance of your device even more. Okay, so enough of all that. Let's talk about the Atomos Ninja Flame, why I think it's good for Sony cameras, even in 2020. Even though it's released like 3, 4, 5 years ago. He's a bit pissed off. He wants to go out. Okay, so enough talk about this fancy tripod dolly, which I do love right here. But let's talk about the Atomos Ninja Flame and why I think it's actually pretty good, and you should consider it even in 2020, where you could consider it quite an old and slightly obsolete device. This part of the video is really targeted to Sony shooters, because the points that I'm going to be addressing are really actually more targeted at Sony shooters, because every single Sony camera doesn't shoot above 4K 30 except the a7S III. And if you are looking at the a7S III, chances are you're not looking at a cheap old Atomos recorder. You're looking at something new, fancy, and super powerful. So if you're using a Sony camera, seriously, consider the Atomos Ninja Flame, and let me just list out some reasons for you. The first reason is the features. Yes, it is going to be slightly less feature-rich and slightly less feature-packed than the Atomos Ninja V, which is the latest and greatest from Atomos. Atomos's baby, where they always give firmware updates and stuff. Sure, it's not going to be as good as the Atomos Ninja V in certain features, but it still has all of the essentials. You've got your histogram, you've got false color, focus peaking, you've got your LUTs, you've got recording to SSDs, you've got all the different codecs that you would want. ProRes RAW, ProRes HQ, DNX HQ. You can record in all these codecs with the Atomos Ninja Flame, just like you can on the Atomos Ninja V. Sure, it's limited in that in terms of future proofing because it can't do 4K 60, but it can still do 4K 30, and Sony cameras, none of them do 4K 60, they only do 4K 30. So why would you even worry about 4K 60? What are the chances you upgrade to an A7S III in the next year or so? How rich and successful are you exactly? If you aren't really raking in the money, then chances are you shouldn't even be caring at all about 4K 60 because you're not upgrading your camera anytime soon. I shoot with the A6500, last time I shot with the A7 III, and I've never had 4K 60. And with this Atomos Ninja Flame, I can still get basically the full potential of my camera, even though, you know, it's limited in the long run. Secondly, the Atomos Ninja V I think is not that great of a value. Sure, right now, if you absolutely need a recorder that does 4K 60, let's say you use a Panasonic S1H or an EOS R or something like that, if you absolutely need it right now, sure, it makes sense to get the Atomos Ninja V. That will unlock your full potential. But if you're shooting with a Sony camera, you probably can hold off for another year till whenever the A7 IV comes out, or whenever the A7S III goes down in price, or, you know, I'm sure the A7 IV is coming out in a year or so, or whenever the Atomos Ninja V Mark II comes out. Because I feel that the Atomos Ninja V, while really good right now, feels like it's approaching the end of its life because there are a lot of cameras coming out that do a lot more than what the Atomos Ninja V can handle. For example, RAW 16-bit RAW over HDMI or 4K 120. These are all things that the Atomos Ninja V can't do. I think it's probably due for an update, and when that update comes, all your Ninja 5 that you might buy, that you buy brand new and all that, they're gonna lose value. And if you wanted to buy a Ninja 5 secondhand, then you could. Make sense? Makes sense to me. The third reason as to why the Ninja Flame is so good in 2020 is the price. Because everyone thinks like it's old, it's end of life, it's not good. It's $400. I got the Rona. But seriously, because everyone thinks it's old, end of life and stuff like that, it is really cheap secondhand. It's only $300 to $400 online. That's the price I've seen it going for. I bought mine for $400 Singapore dollars secondhand. And for what it can do with my Sony cameras, I'm thoroughly impressed for what I got in terms of value. It's insane amount of value, and it's absolutely a really good purchase if you can get it for the cheap price that I've been seeing it going for. At the price and with the features that I talked about earlier, it is crazy amount of value. And if you don't need 4K 60 because your camera can't support it, because you're a Sony shooter and you basically don't have all those new fancy 4K 60 toys, then yeah, sucks to be you. But hey, at least you can save money and get the Atomos Ninja Flame. That's why I think it's a great purchase, even in 2020. Now the fourth reason is pretty simple. The fourth reason is the screen. I think the screen on the Atomos Ninja Flame it's a work of art. I think it's brilliant. Okay, it's a 7-inch 1500 nit display. It's clear and crisp. It's bright as day. You can use it outdoors. It's even brighter than the Ninja 5000 nit display. It's sharp. It's brilliant. You can pull focus. You can manual focus with it brilliantly. You can frame your shots with it brilliantly, and it is so damn good. Now to put it into perspective, even if you just use the Ninja Flame as a screen, just a standalone screen, and not as a recorder with an SSD so that you don't record with ProRes. Let's just say you record straight to your SD card and you use the Atomos Ninja Flame for a screen. If you compare it to the competitor screens out there brand new, the Atomos Shinobi is about $150 more brand new as compared to the Ninja Flame, and it's a 5-inch display. If you compare it to the small HD displays, those displays are way more expensive for the same level of quality as the Ninja Flame. So if you're just using this as a monitor, a display, it's also still extremely good value because that screen on there is so damn good. Great colors, great contrast, great accuracy, great brightness. So those are the 4 reasons why I think the Atomos Ninja Flame is still good in 2020. Sorry if I seem a bit rambly. Sorry if this, you know, style is not your taste. If you don't like it, please tell me and I'll work on it. But I kind of like shooting like this. It's a bit more free, a bit more open, a bit more relaxed, and I can freestyle a bit more, be a bit more dynamic. So that's why I'm experimenting with this style. If you enjoyed this video, of course, subscribe, help me out. Anyway, I'ma head out. See you in the next video.